and I peed so much in his mouth that his teeth floated away.
That's funny.
His teeth were like floating, like all like woo in his mouth.
That is going to be one visit to the dentist they are not going to forget.
Oh my God. Great.
Ladies and gentlemen. What is that? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Kinky Friends. My name is Nicholas Tannick, and we have a wild show for you tonight. It's going to be great. We have some kinky people with us. Please go to yourkinkyfriends.com. And I want to start off by saying this. Everything we say, everything we talk about is between consenting adults. This is for adults, by adults. It's consenting adults. We're good people. We pay our taxes. We're loving, kind people. We're decent people. Don't judge. Seriously. Don't judge. It's ruining your relationships in your life. Take inventory and be kind, please. Everybody. We need money. That's the Cash App. Notice lowercase t. Yeah, I have some plans. We're gonna have. I got a mapped out plan that I think that's gonna be good for the community. Seriously, I'm an imaginative person. Let's do this. So we are talking about in person versus online BDSM, and tonight we have a bunch of people. We do have Mistress Claudia. Are you there?
Yes. Hi.
Hi. Okay. There's a huge echo. We cannot see you though.
Oh, I wonder why.
Okay. Well, as you figure it out, thank you very, very much. Let's go around the panel. We have Mistress Sophie up top. Mistress Sophie, all the way from the UK.
Hi.
How are you, Miss Sophie?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
Wow, I'm well. And then back from a long time. I haven't seen this woman in a very, very long time. I think I was just came out of the liver transplant, maybe, and I look bad. Oh my God! How did you people put up with me looking at me all spooky like that? I'm a true goth. I'm a true wise goth. Oh, I'm hard. Looking at those videos. Anyway, Mistress Jennifer, thank you for being being with me all this time. How you been?
I'm good. Just been busy traveling, and we had a kink event last night here in Houston, Pleasure Dome with Petra Banks. It was really awesome. It was at Numbers. We're back at Numbers, our Kinky Tuesdays group. Yes, it was exhausting, but it was great. Great crowd, packed. So yeah.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we have the Bussy Boss, Anna Valentina's with us. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing so well. Happy to be here.
Have you bossed any bussies? Have you bossed any bussies lately?
Funny that you ask. I am making some plans with. I'm making a couple of plans actually. Speaking of the last kinky thing I did, I am starting to break in my personal sub for fisting eventually. So yeah, we just started his first training session.
Sweet.
Yeah, a few days
fisting.
ago.
Just in time for Halloween.
I know, but
you can make puppets.
He's very excited. It's a goal we both have. So fingers crossed.
All right, and then back and wow, this is what I love about Domme Danielle and the kink community. I have to give him full screen for this. Domme Danielle.
Hello.
Domme Danielle. Hi. Thank you. I want to thank you for introducing me to Kendra Holiday. What an amazing woman of incredibly inspiring, like refreshingly comforting on so many ways. She's just what a wonderful person. I can't wait to talk with her more. So I want to thank you for that.
It was a good show. They liked it. It was really cool. Yeah.
I appreciate that. All right, let's get on with the show. How you been first?
Good. Good. I'm alive. I'm dead
Yeah,
inside, but I'm
I am
good.
too.
Whee!
You got the fire to burn to be here.
That's right.
Thank you very, very much for it. All right, let's get on. Okay. Let's bring some people back. Okay, we got some people. So basically, what is the difference in your experience in person versus online BDSM? Let's just start off with time. Time is precious. I don't want to waste yours. You don't want to waste mine. How much time do you spend in person versus online? Let's start out with
With me?
yes.
Well, I used to spend all of my time doing in person for years and years and years, 20 plus years. And I did some online here, kind of on the side over during that period of time. But now online is pretty much the majority of what I do with clients. But of course, in person, like I said, I have my personal sub and then, some play here and there. And so I would say
Percentage wise.
percentage wise, yeah, I would say probably my online is about 60% or so, and then in person's like 40%. So it kind of used to be the other way around, but now it's kind of more that. So
It's a struggle. Let's she's back. Let's Mistress Jennifer. Are you there? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. I can't hear you at all. Um, Mistress Sophie, in person
Hi.
versus online. Hi, I know you do both. Which ones, like percentage wise, which percentage is in person versus online?
If I have to be really honest, I would have to say in person 99.9%, online 0.1%.
Really? Okay.
Hmm.
Nice. Okay.
But I've always found, I mean, the whole thing with like online and in person, if you're actually in person, it feels so much more personal. It feels so much more connected. But when when you're, I mean, with the exception of this podcast, you know, when you're doing it all online, it just doesn't feel as real. It's almost like trying to sell something, like smell my feet. How could you smell my feet through a screen? You'd be watching it in smell-o-vision.
We're gonna talk about that. Domme Danielle. Domme Danielle.
Same. Yeah,
Yeah.
same. 99.9 and 1, but I think that's just because I haven't I don't know. I need to advance with the times. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
I have a lot of other projects that I'm doing right now, so I've just been focusing on that, but I need to focus on the other real soon.
So I want to ask you this though. How do you spank someone online?
I When I do online stuff or like phone stuff, I pretty much just like pretend that I'm taking like they need an exorcism from me when they're done. Like I'm in them and I'm like take control of their hands, like, and I want to hear it. I'm like, don't you fucking fake it, right? I want to hear it like louder. So I bet, yeah, it's just different. You have to switch in your brain.
All right, let's say this. So when I say spank someone online, I don't necessarily mean spanking. It could mean anything. I meant like a metaphorical spank,
Oh,
so think about it. How do you spank someone online? Does anyone have a way or anything to suggest about that?
I basically just tell them to, grab an implement and bend over and just, I tell them, to start. I usually even with my spanking sessions, I start gradual and go from there. And, it's a different perception because, before the pandemic, I was only in person. And I've been doing this 17 years almost and only in person. But with 2020, with the pandemic, I had to transition more to online because we weren't I wasn't seeing anybody. I wasn't seeing subs. I didn't see a sub for like a year because of the pandemic. But, and now I'm going back to primarily in person, but I still have my little bit, maybe my 1 or 2% that I still do online because they found me when I was just doing online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
that's real. Yeah. That same with me, pandemic completely upended my personal, and I know DOMs who still continued to do in-person sessions, like when everybody else was in lockdown and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's awesome for them, if they can work with that comfort level, whatever. But yeah, for me, I was just like, no. And that's when I've always had a phone presence. Like I've been on Night Flirt for ages. But that's when I really started to like, yeah, the most money I've ever made on Night Flirt in a year was like, I think 2021, something like that. So yeah, that was definitely my path. And then now I'm in school and all this kind of other stuff. So it's like, it's kind of easier time management for me, that kind of thing. So yeah, a lot of that plays into it. Yeah, for sure. Also, I want to point out what Domme Danielle just said about they need an exorcism from me afterwards. Like, that's a pull quote right there. That's legit.
Thanks. I thought it was creative. Thank you.
That's some good shit right there. Yeah, absolutely.
I gotta get my pet.
Yeah.
I've been watching too much paranormal stuff.
Too much? I don't understand. No.
There's never too much.
Right. Nick, I have a feeling you're going to be taking a lot of quote notes today because you got a lot of rock stars up in here.
What was the quote? All right, so what was the first quote?
What Domme Danielle said?
Yes,
she said they need an exorcism from me after an online session because I take over their bodies. So, yeah.
The spirits have spoken.
I love that.
I love that. I love that image or that idea of like just inhabiting somebody, making them your puppet. That's what a great way to say that. What a great way to explain online play. I love it because it is a challenge, isn't it? We all
got
love
a new person in the chat. Online.
Yeah.
What's his unread Bebenborough says online BDSM such a weak substitute for in person. I think online can be a way to connect with a dom, and that's really great. But actual online sessions, personally, doesn't work at all. That's important. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about planning for a session. Pacing is the pacing and the intensity different if you plan for an online session versus a in-person session. Let's start off with Anna, and because of sound, we're gonna have to take you out.
Okay, sure. Yeah, absolutely. That's a really great question. So it works a couple of different, like with Night Flirt, where you don't have necessarily a set time limit for the session. It can just kind of roll on and on and on, depending on how you feel. So one thing I do like about online is I love telling stories. I'm a storyteller. So, it is a lot more verbally dependent, but it also gives me a lot more room to be verbally creative. And you can do anything with imagination. You can talk about anything, do anything, whatever. It doesn't, translate the physical things as well. But I also end up doing more conversation and philosophy exploration with people than I would do in an in-person session. I don't, we're doing physical things. The intensity, it's much, much, much more, well, not always, but like the focus is much more on psychology and emotion and mental exploration. So that's a much more mentally intense thing. Like I am much more mentally spent after a long time online than I would be like with that feedback person in physical in person. So it's a different workload, I would say. And but I have a crazy, like I've had really intense like superhero role play sessions, online. Like those are much more like, it's a different thing. Like your imagination can go really wild. So if you are geared towards that, it can be a good fit, but it's mentally intensive versus physically intensive. Like the in-person mixes both, but the online is pretty much exclusively mental. And so the pacing, you do have to be more aware of that kind of pacing where how are you keeping that storyline going? How are you keeping that erotic tension, the narrative flow, etc.? So that's where, instead of like having maybe like physical touch or, getting up in someone's face and having that energy right there, you have to be a lot more like churning away up here.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Okay. Mistress Jennifer.
Yes.
We have to planning for a session. How do you plan differently for an online session versus an in-person session?
Okay. What I do is, even with any kind of session that I do, when I do the vetting, I always ask, what type of session are they looking for? With online, I do have set donations that I do charge for like my time. And it depends on what type of session they're looking for. Like I have guys who want small penis humiliation, guys who just want to be humiliated. I have guys who want to be rated on their cross-dressing skills. I have guys who want like guided masturbation, tease and denial, and I control all of that. So I find all the information before we start the online session. So I go into it knowing what we're going to focus on. And I get all of that up front, and then I tailor it towards how much time that they want to book with me, because it's not like an ongoing thing. They're going to pay for, like, if they want a half hour. Well, I usually don't do half hour, whatever. And we always have it like established online. That's how I've had to do it because of the pandemic. I've had to retool everything. And and with in person, of course, I do the same thing. I do the vetting. I find out all the interests and stuff of what they want to focus on. And then in person, of course, it's so much easier because you've got that person right there. But if you find out all the information about what they want to do online, then you kind of have a place to go when you do the online session.
Thank you. Danielle, when you're online, how's the pacing and intensity different, and how do you plan structure versus in person?
Yeah, so the structure for me looks the same in person or online. I like it to be like, if you're looking at like a storyboard, it's like boom, roller coaster, like that's why, I always like to know the total length of time. So I can tailor that and have a clear beginning, middle, and end. For online, I don't fucking shower, I can tell you that. That's for sure. But I might not be wearing pants either. But for I like what the
That's a good
person
quote.
said.
That's a great quote.
I like what the person said. Well, I'm not gonna shower.
That you
Kind of
probably
fun.
just
It's
got
kind
more
of like my dirty
followers.
little secret. I'm like, I stink. Maybe you
You
like that,
probably
but
got more followers. Yeah, you got more people interested now. You're like, oh,
maybe.
yeah.
But I like setting the intention. Like I always say, like, I don't want to create a submissive doormat. Like I want you to be assertive about your needs, and because you're responsible for them getting met. I can help you, but you have to give voice to them. Period.
Definitely. Oh, all right. Please forgive me. I am tired. I had a long day. All right, let's talk about connection and intimacy. Right. So it's one thing to touch somebody, right? It's another thing to want them to make them touch themselves. They're both extremely beautiful actions, and but still, it's different, right? How do you foster intimacy, connection in online BDSM without physical touch? For example, I like, before you answer, I know a lot of people in the kink community are sensualists. I'm in love with a sensualist right now, and going out there. It's the longing for the touch. I love being touched, especially as a submissive, as it's one who loves the sissification narrative. So doing that online versus in person are two totally different things. How do you foster intimacy, connection? Let's start off with Domme Danielle. Hello.
Sorry. Yeah. So, I'm taking notes here. I like this question because it makes me think. So I think that it switches from touch being a love language to like words of affirmation, right? So, and gratitude. So I like to include gratitude when we're done, because it eradicates shame. It can. And also a clear ending and really giving space to the ending, I think facilitates intimacy as well. Because oftentimes we're so quick, we just want to like run out, but like endings are so important. They're just as important as beginnings. And so I think when I intentionally take time, I think that reflects as like I care, right? Yeah. So
Thank you very much. Thank you very
thank
much.
you.
Does anyone else have any other thoughts regarding on how you maintain connection and intimacy online versus in person?
I think communication from the beginning and having that you and your sub are on the same page, like mentally. And, I ask a lot of questions to my subs, in the beginning and kind of find out, where our connection is mentally. A lot of my stuff is mental because you have to have that mental connection. And I think the intimacy kind of comes into play if you have a great mental connection, you're on the same page and you just kind of have the same goals.
Yeah. Now, what about the online? I wouldn't say brainwash. Brainwashing is not a harsh word, but like the fool for the image. We see people online, and we are not what we are online all the time. We're not. We can't be. You know what I mean? You go to a dungeon. I go to a dungeon. I mean, honestly, the most elaborate, most fantastic dungeon is still a place with people who have ideas. That's it is. That's what it is at the root of things. You know what I mean? So let's talk about different expectations. Do you find that dominance or submissive or switches have different expectations and fantasies in the online world versus in person? And do they have expectations of you specifically because of this? How have your experience been with the expectations versus online and in person? Let's start off with
Go ahead. Go ahead, Victor. I think a lot. Oh, is she speaking? Okay, sorry.
No, I was going to ask for Domme Danielle.
Yes.
I actually would like. I don't know. I would like to get information with this question. I don't know, really.
That's fair. Oh, great. So that means it's a good question. All right.
Yeah.
Let's start off with Mistress Sophie. Mistress Sophie, I'm sorry. I think we may have skipped you over. You're so quiet.
That's okay. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing with different expectations between online and in person is that the most requests I've actually had from online clients is like coming from a really, really long way away. I know this is like, if I actually told you that every single request I've actually had for an online session has come from the United States, would you believe me?
Everyone?
Every single one.
Wow.
Yeah, because we're horny. We're fueled by sex.
And the accent.
It seems like, yeah.
Well, you certainly get a lot of English accent with me, so yeah.
All right, Mistress Sophie, can you help make me work on my accent to help make me a dashing English gentleman?
Yes, give it time.
How would it be the next Idris Elba?
You know, I think this is a genuine thing, right? I've actually, Robert Downey Jr. remains the only American actor that I know who has pulled off a convincing English accent.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
And
He
if
also
you
there's
can
some.
yeah, what movie did he star in that got him the English accent? I'm testing your knowledge here.
Doolittle. I don't remember at the moment. Which one?
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh yeah, Sherlock Holmes. Guy Ritchie. Guy Ritchie did
Yep.
that, of course. Sestra. Sestra. All right.
Yep.
Yeah. No, thank you, Sestra. Oh, she's inspiration. Things to get. Always takes it up a notch. All right. She says, "I think remote toys can help." All right. So you're online. Let's just switch it up, because this is a whimsical show. All right. I'm going to start off with Anna on this one.
Hey, yeah.
All right.
So,
Remote toys. What do you do with remote toys? What do you do with remote toys?
girl, I got some info for you. Okay, so.
All right. Tell us about remote toys. Sestra wants remote toys.
Well, first I just want
What do
to
you do?
give like claps to what Danielle and Jennifer said about like setting intention and connection and whatever and length of narrative. I will say first of all that a little thing that I like to do with my friends, my long distance friends, not just subs, but long distance friends. But okay, so when we're like, oh, I miss you or something like that, I say pillow hug. So what that means is they have to pick up a pillow and give it a hug like it's me. And then I do the same on my end. And we say pillow hug to each other. And if they don't say, I'm like, pillow hug, motherfucker, you have to hug your pillow and you have to say it. And it gives, honestly, it gives us a feeling of connection. I'm not kidding. It's the intention. It's mutuality. So speaking of remote toys, though, that's a very simple one, but I've played with some long distance chastity, and isn't that kind of always the thing? It's like it's always sort of long distance. But anyway, Sophie, I can believe what you said about Americans being super horny. But I played with a system where it was a remotely controlled, remotely locked. Yay! Thank you, Sestra. A remotely controlled and locked little safe. It was a chastity safe in which resided the keys, and I could control it through an app where it was a custom built app, and so I could set like he had. It was designed so that I could specify games of chance. Like I could make him play digital. Was it like digital blackjack or digital craps or something? And I could set the likelihood that he would win anywhere from like 0.5% up to 99%. And yeah, Jennifer, you're nodding. Like I can see that. And yeah. Yes, and so I could set the frequency of when he would get a chance to play, and so on. And so like I could force him to get up every 2 hours to go and play this thing for a desperate chance to get out of chastity, or I could do whatever. And then once he got out, of course, then I'd have my instructions for him. Like, you need to do this and this. And, you get to stimulate just the crown, just the head of your penis for 15 minutes. And if you can, he can't come that way. They're like, just the head, just the tip, and that kind of, so I could set like all these things. So you're like dying. And so, yeah, so these kind of remote controls, and we're seeing a lot of technology come into this now, especially with chastity and so on. But yeah, I haven't gotten into much of the like remote vibration stuff or whatever, but chastity is a great one for that technology with chastity linked up together. There you go. Yeah. But even without technology, those remote forms of control is what I should say. And, and we're really seeing that generation come up now. So it's a very interesting, boy, teledildonics, man, is going to be, when we get like full body sensory input suits and all of that, man, it's a new world.
Definitely. Mistress Jennifer.
Yeah.
I know with your work, you have a lot of toys.
Oh, I do. I have a lot.
A store. You have a store.
I work in a store. I work at Fantasy Gifts and Toys and have for almost 5 years. And before
Ooh.
before the pandemic, I worked at Adam and Eve for over 3 years. So yes, I see a lot of the chastity devices and all the remote control toys, the app control toys. I mean, they're everywhere. And it's fascinating because, yeah, you can go through an app on your phone and you can control, the toy with the sub online. It was perfect for during the pandemic because, you could just, or even like Electro, I mean, there's so much out there now. The technology is just mind boggling how much there is. And then I've had a guy, I could lock his chastity when I wanted to, and then I wouldn't unlock it until he did certain things. So yeah, it's amazing. I love it.
All right. I have to ask. What
Oh yeah.
were some certain things? What was a certain thing that you made him do that he, Mistress Jennifer?
Okay, yeah. What's the question?
What were the certain things?
Oh, okay. Like he would have to, like clean certain items in his house, or write write, like some guy kept a journal, write in a journal, just random things, and if he didn't do it, then I wouldn't unlock his chastity. Or if he didn't get one guy I had as a sub for exercise, if he didn't exercise, I would lock his chastity because he was coming to me to help lose weight. So that was kind of, I don't know, an incentive, I guess. I don't know. I've heard some strange stuff in almost 17 years. So
Back to the different expectations. Do you think, especially, and this kind of goes out for the sissies out there, there's a narrative involved in a lot of porn and a lot of fantasies and stuff like that. There's a narrative involved. Fantasy, it's not reality. Some people do live it though, very, very much. They're on the show, but there is a narrative with all of the noise that's online. Because it is a I don't know, it changes the zeitgeist. It changes everything. There's a ripple effect to what access you can get. The medium is the message. You know what I mean? So with basically, how do you address this with these different fantasies? Do you find people are like their souls are crushed when they don't realize it's real? How do you address that? Hello, anyone?
I was
What do you
waiting
mean
to see
it's not real?
I was waiting to see if anybody else was going to speak up. I was just waiting.
I just said, what do you mean it's not real?
Yeah, no, that's a very good case. My response to that, anyone who comes to me, is that it's happening. Like even the content, even if it is role play, it happened there. It happened. Like it's not, especially here now and these days, it's not AI. In the future, it may be, but it's like all that from what like that was like even though it was role play and it didn't mean anything to them, maybe took the romance out of it. It happened. Becomes real. So, all right, let's talk about safety and aftercare. Let's talk about safety and aftercare. What are the key safety considerations for online BDSM? Because they're different. In person, you're in the moment, you're there physically. Online, what are some aftercare? I mean, because with online, you're dealing with a whole other animal. With blackmail, some people have a blackmail fetish. Some people don't want their stuff online. Some people do. So the safety and aftercare. Mistress Sophie, how do you deal with this?
Yeah, it is a bit of an interesting challenge, I think, because when you're actually in person, you can give that person a hug, you can give them a cup of tea, you can, like I said, you can actually physically see them, you can see their emotions, you can see their body language. But when you're doing it from the end of a screen, it's kind of a bit difficult, because if you're in the middle of counseling someone or giving them aftercare and then the signal drops, if you've had like a really, really intense session, if it drops too soon, it could have a serious psychological effect on that person.
Yeah. What did Chuck D say? The hardest and the easiest way to say it? Or, oh, thank you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm here. I'm
Yes.
here.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Okay.
Anna Valentina, what are the key to
Oh,
safety considerations for
I
online
got a
video?
good one for you. So some years ago, it's a night clerk client who was from the UK, incidentally, and he was into, very nice guy, and he requested a very heavy humiliation session, like yeah, like really really intense, and kind of, okay, look, sort of, you sort of bank these moments later, or you're like, I made him cry in under 15 minutes, but it just, but he's in the UK, and he literally, like, he started crying, and I was like, and he was like, thank you, mistress, that was wonderful. And I was like, oh, thank God, because, like, what am I gonna do? Like, he's not my direct connect. If something goes south, uh, how would I call emergency services or something? So I was like, okay, I got to really, like, and I stayed on the, did aftercare and so on, but I was like, that worked out really well. But that is definitely something that you really have to think about. Oh, also from the other direction, um, I've had people, not too many, but there's one in particular who I don't talk to anymore, who will want to get into, like, straight up, like literal blackmail and exposure of financial details, exposure of personal details, etc. Like, oh, post my address and credit card information. I'm like, or put a key logging program on my computer so that you can, get all my financial details or something. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm not really trying to have, like, the FBI and Interpol, like, after me, and whatever. So yeah, it's there's fantasy, but then there's, like, you if you do those things, you will be held responsible on some level. So you have to know how to protect yourself, and not just practically, but also emotionally. Like, yeah, if somebody has a bad experience or something, and you can't be there for them, that harms you as the dom, as the top. You are just as much a part of this experience as they are, and you have this, you're affected by this too. So you have to take care of yourself that way as well, and not overextend overextend yourself, either in safety or in care or whatever. You have to honor, where you're coming from, and be mindful of that, and not uh, not just go like, well, it's online, so it doesn't matter, that kind of thing. It does matter. It absolutely does matter.
Domme Danielle, what are the key safety considerations for online BDSM?
I don't do a lot of online stuff, so I'm learning a lot.
You promote yourself. You do promote yourself.
You mean like for me to stay safe, or
Yeah,
everybody?
yeah. That's
Either.
Well, I
goes
mean,
both
for
ways.
yeah, I mean, so I'm 41. I started when I was, I don't know, 30 or something. I don't know, but whatever. And I never used my real last name. That was something that I safeguarded, and so it's not out there um, at all. And you know, but that's not to say that I haven't been like outed and like denied entrance to a school that I should have otherwise gotten into or whatever, and like um I don't know. I Because of the oppressive and, you know, culture that we live in, I just tried to stay safe and keep my anonymity a little bit just in case everyone to like transition Or, I mean, I wish I could just be totally out and be like, hey, this is me, and I like to do this, and this, and all of these different facets. And yes, I can. But we so much as people want things to be like black and white. Like, oh, she can't be a dom and also help people with their relationship issues, or this or that, or blah 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 blah. When really, it's like, no, that actually works. I don't know. I wish I could be more free. That's my point. Really. Wish I didn't have to be so protective.
Mistress Jennifer, what are the key safety considerations for online BDSM?
I've learned that, with the online, I check on them periodically throughout the session. You always check in to make sure they're still doing okay. I do that throughout the session because I want to make sure that, if they're not okay, or, we always establish a safe word. Of course, that's in person, but also we establish that online, because if they get to a point where they're not comfortable, I want them to let me know, and I tell them up front, if this is something, it becomes to a point that you want to stop, let me know. But yeah, communication is very important, and just keep checking out throughout the session. And then at the end, of course, talk to them about it, any questions, concerns they might have, just kind of see where they're coming from. Keep the communication open.
All right. Finally, aftercare. Aftercare is very important. People always forget about it. I'm always working on it. I always should give more. I'm becoming aware because I'm being a better sub and trying to be a better person. You know what I mean? Anyway, aftercare is very important. So let me ask you this: what are some? How do you provide aftercare in online setting compared to in-person setting? Like, what were the differences for you? Start off with Domme Danielle. I know you don't do anything online, but like you do it, like you talk to people. Let's consider texting. Let's consider that virtual. Anything virtual.
Yeah. Again, giving importance to the ending. So I do similar things virtually that I do in person. So like I have this little ritual where, at the end, I come down, if it's in person, I turn down the lights and, provide soft touch, change the music. Um, and if it's online or like a phone thing, I will guide them to their body to do the same sort of behaviors that they would be doing in person. And then I ask, tell me 3 things that you learned today. Don't give them to me now. Just like wait. When you have them, let me know. Take your time, right? Like we're not rushing. Um, yeah, a ritual. Rituals are important.
Mm, rituals are important. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. What about Mr. Sophie with aftercare? When you talk to somebody, let's just talk about virtual aftercare. As opposed to, because it's just not physical. Right. So there's texts, there's a little thing you could do. What's some virtual aftercare you could do?
Fundamentally, the only way that I would be able to.
Oh, your voice is so low. I can't hear you, Mr. Sophie.
Sorry. Is that better?
Oh, yes, it's much better.
That's
Yes.
the way I would do any sort of virtual aftercare is I would actually insist that the person sending me any messages uses emojis. Because emojis, if you think about it, right, it's so difficult to gauge someone's mood when they're texting you. Because it's like, you could read a sentence on a message and you wouldn't know whether that person was being happy, sad, angry, depressed, anxious. You just wouldn't know. So, if you're actually using an application of like, emojis and things like that, anyone will be able to tell you what a happy emoji looks like. Anyone can tell you what a sad emoji looks like, an angry one. The possibilities are endless. So it can be really, really, that's the best way I would do it. I mean, if I actually had somebody in person in front of me, I would be able to read them. I would be able to see what they're saying, do what they're doing. But when you're doing it online and the messages, you don't have that comparison. So you really got to adapt. So that's the way I do it.
Lady Red, from Interview My Kink says that's a good idea. How did the interview go? Shout out to Lady Red.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you went great. I was on with the show earlier. Fantastic.
Yes, Lady Red's awesome. Shout out, Lady. Check out Lady Red's podcast. It's Interview My Kink. I don't know how many shows they're in, but they just started just like, oh, I love it. I love it. Awesome. It's good for the kink community. Right on. Yeah, Lady Red. Yeah. All right, let's we're gonna end it off because we can go wild with it. Where do you see the future of online BDSM? And when I mean this, I'm talking about money. We love in-person BDSM. All of us do. So it's taking our money, but yet it's also can make us money. You know what I mean? So my question is, where do you see the future of online BDSM heading in regards to your in-person BDSM, affecting your in-person BDSM, taking your time, your money, and your energy away from in-person? Where do you see that heading, Anna?
Well, this occurred to me when you're talking about expectations and preparation and stuff for sessions and so on. Like I love what Danielle said about like I don't put on pants. Totally. But it is a different. That's one thing I have noticed.
Online, I don't shower.
When you're online, nobody knows if you have pants on or if you're showered or yeah.
Right.
So whereas when I do an in-person session, there are whole rituals of like choosing my gear, packing my gear, getting my outfits, getting dressed, setting up the space, and whether it's my space or somebody else's or something like that. If it is somebody else's, then I have to, it's the transit and the booking and all of that kind of stuff. If it's my space, then it's still like, okay, how do but it's all this physically setting up space. When you're doing online, you maybe figure out your own rituals about what makes me feel sexy and warm your voice up and all of this kind of stuff. So but what I was going to say was the expectation is much more. I think people expect a lot more availability when you're online because they're thinking, oh, you can get on the phone or I can buy your content or, that kind of thing. This is much more kind of immediate. I see the future of online going into, like I said, much more like remote use of toys. A lot online BDSM has highlighted the monetary aspect of professional domination in BDSM and sex work in general. I see a lot more development of financial relationships, of long distance practical servitude like that, but also like the tremendous growth of remote toys. We are going to see, we're going to see a lot more of that. The market's exploding with that,
Remote choice. The sound is getting pretty bad, Anna, so I gotta take you out. Thank you. It's okay. Let's talk about where do you see the future of online BDSM heading? It's like I said, it's affecting you. It's affecting your in-person time that you love so much that you make money from. So who's doing that? Who's touching the mic? Please stop. Where do you see the future of online BDSM heading? Mistress Sophie? Oh, Mistress Sophie, we can't even hear you. I'm sorry. So, sorry, it's only too loud. Mistress Jennifer, where do you see the future of online BDSM heading? Can you hear me? She doesn't have sound. Oh, this is great. Domme Danielle, where do you see the future of BDSM online heading?
Well, if that's not a sign, I don't know what is. I think I need to get online.
Right?
Fuck, because I'm hungry over here. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I was like so busy for like 2 weeks. It was amazing, and I was like nothing for like 3 weeks. And I'm like, are people like doing AI? What or is it the economy? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just gonna keep it real. And when I play with people, we love it. We have a great time. I don't. I would really like to know what's going on. And maybe it is online. Maybe it's like immediate gratification or like it is so like I even find with myself, I get my social needs met like with AI more than real people. And maybe other people are as well. I don't know.
Interesting. All right. Let's go around. How can everybody get in touch with everybody? Let's start with Anna Valentina. How can people get in touch with you? How can people give you money? Can people support you?
All right, you hot little bitches, listen up. this is how to find me. Phone sessions, and custom content. Just quick on the draw. Night Flirt, NITEFLIRT.com, and my name, Anna Valentina. Real simple. Find me on that platform. If you're new to the platform, you get 3 complimentary minutes right off the bat. And then if you're a YKF fan and you come to me and you find me and you're like, hey, I've seen the podcast, I'm a fan, whatever, let me know and I'll do something a little special for you.
Thank you. That's pretty awesome. Appreciate that. Yes, please support YKF. We need money. Mistress Sophie, how can people support you and contact you and get in touch with you?
Yeah, so they can start by going over to my website.
I cannot hear you, Mistress Sophie. Hello?
Hmm.
Mistress Jennifer, Mistress Sophie, can are either you available?
I'm here.
Oh, okay, Mistress Jennifer.
I'm here.
So, how can people get in touch with you? How can people get in touch with you and support you?
The easiest way is to go to allmylinks.com and it's under Mistress Jennifer. That's JENNIFER 41. And it's got all of my content. It's got my interviews with you. It's got my Venmo. It's got all my stuff. So allmylinks.com, Mistress Jennifer 41. That has everything. Everything.
Thank you very much. Domme Danielle, how can people get in touch with you?
I have a website, dommedanielle.com, and you can pay me by sending money to #denizen. And I'm very responsive with a Proton message, but you can't have my phone number. I'm on Night Flirt though, Domme Danielle.
Yeah. Yes. Everybody, please support the kink community. We're all trying to get by. We're one of you. Trust me, someone who's one of us.
Oh yeah.
That's true. What I want to say is everyone's sound messed up. Everyone's sound messed up. Everything, but we're still here. We all came together, and this is a learning experience. And what's awesome about it is that if there's a next show, and I hope there are many, and if there are many next shows, you'll look at the difference and see how far we come. And it's amazing. Just waking up every day, it's amazing you've come that far. So, especially if you came the night before. Everybody, please read a book. It's a good thing. Books are awesome. You need them in life. They're amazing. What else can I say? Oh, we have a book review where I'm spanking with all of these books. I'm spanking with here. Let me remove this thing. Spanking people with all of these wonderful books. We're having Dirk Cooper on next week. Oh, and next week, Anna. I don't know if Anna's there. All right.
I'm here. Yeah.
Anna. Next week is Boots.
Yes.
Yay.
So get your boots and heels ready.
Okay.
Oh man.
Show.
I am ready and
show
waiting.
And tell.
Oh.
I got questions, boots and heels.
I'm gonna.
There's a lot.
Oh my god.
Boots and heels.
I'm gonna bring out my library
Set the alarm. I mean, set the alarm. Boots and heels next week.
I'm gonna bring in my whole collection. Oh my god, yes.
All right,
Nice.
boots and heels.
All right.
Yes, hey, sunshine. Oh, Kink helps Kink. Sunshine is here. Kink helps Kink. Please, Kink helps Kink. We need each other. Some people,
Yes.
all we have is us,
Mhm.
and this is how we're gonna get through this. And when what is this? You know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yes. Definitely.
Everything. Yeah.
Get 50% off. All items along the last offer code YKF.
Nice.
Yes. And that's all about that. That's all. That's all. Show's over. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Bye,
We love you
everybody.
guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Be cool.
Yes.
Keep an open mind.